In today's video, we are going to be breaking down Kobe Bryant's basketball shooting form. It's been 1 year since he passed away, and I thought that I would put a couple of these videos together for the memory of Kobe Bryant. Anyways, let's get down and let's check out Kobe Bryant. Okay, so in this first shot that we are looking at, we're going to be looking at a quick sidestep jump shot. Now, when he gathers the ball, he gathers it roughly around his waist, between his knees and his waist anyways, depending on the type of shot that he is looking to take. From there, you will see on every single one of his shots that his left leg does angle inwards towards his right leg, or towards his right knee. But we also see that his right foot is pointing towards the net, same as his knee, and we will also see that his left shoulder as well as his left hip is slightly back on this shot. However, what we do notice when he brings this ball up to his set point is that his shoulder and elbow are in line with the rim. This is a major part of Kobe Bryant's shot, as well as a major part in your jump shot. By being able to get that shoulder and elbow in line with the rim, that is your number one level, I'll say, of your aim. And what I mean by that is, if your elbow is a bit out towards the right from your shoulder, then your shot is generally going to be out towards the right, and if it's in a bit, it's going to go out towards the left. That's the number one part of everyone's shot. Next is that elbow needs to be underneath that ball, so that now with that elbow underneath that ball in line with the rim, that's going to allow you to be able to have a straight shot and not have that ball curve in air. We can see the actual transfer of power from his legs up into his thighs, hips, as well as up into his shoulder and into his elbow. And we can see this right here. So he's got power being transferred from his calves up into his quads, which is the muscles in his upper leg. Then he's able to extend his hips up straight, so that his body is now straight with the ground or vertical to the ground. It's like if he has a pole stuck from his all the way down his back into the ground. This allows him to have a very consistent shot. Now, going up with his shot, we do see that he does not have a thumb flick. Kyrie Irving as well as Steph Curry both shoot with slight thumb flicks. Kobe Bryant does not. A lot of players will find that a thumb flick will reduce the real rotation as well as arc on the ball. So I suggest, unless it helps you, do not do a thumb flick. From there, we are able to see from his release and from his set point that his set point is roughly on top of his head, and we're going to be really looking at that set point later on in this video. When he goes up and releases that ball, we can see that he releases that ball as soon as his arm goes straight, and it does go off what looks to be his middle finger last. Now, if you have the ball over top of the elbow and your shoulder in line with the elbow to the rim, what you will find is that having the ball go off your middle finger 99% of the time will allow you to have a consistently straight shot. I also want to point out, when we go back a little bit farther, is as soon as he decides that he's going to be taking that shot right about there, that frame right there, he starts to look up at that rim. And at that point, that is when we know he is about to take that shot. Now, when we look at his set point, a lot of players will have their elbow at the same height as their shoulder. We actually don't have that with Kobe Bryant. His elbow is actually at eye height, and then he brings that ball over top of the middle of his head. Now, why is this important? Well, this actually raises his set point so that players like this defender have a harder time of defending that shot. Can every player shoot like this? No, but if you do shoot like this is a very good benefit from doing so. So I've mentioned this in many different videos. If you have a 90-degree angle on your elbow, you're going to have a faster release, but it does take away the speed of which you shoot. Now, Kobe has a slightly off from 90-degree angle on his elbow, which allows him to have that power, because that's what happens when you've got a less than 90-degree angle on your elbow that gives you more power, but that's going to also allow him to get that shot up a lot higher, and it's going to be a lot harder for that defender to block his shot. Now, as we can see here, Kobe Bryant actually has a soft release. And what I mean by a soft release is his hand curls down. This is very similar to actually players like Steph Curry, because with a soft release that allows you to have a higher arc on your shot, but it also takes away some of the rotation on your shot. If you've got a shot like Michael Jordan, where it is a hard flick down and a straight hand, that's going to give you more rotation, but generally less arc on that ball. I also want to focus on his feet after he takes his shot. So, what do we notice with his shot? Well, let's say he is starting where he is starting right now, which is roughly about there. When he goes up for his shot, his body is straight, but he kicks his legs out at the same exact time, but his upper body is still in the same area as it was when it was going back up for that shot. And what I mean by this is his whole body does not drift forward. That's just his legs drifting forward. Why is this important? Well, this can give a lot of players more power on their shot, and you're going to see a lot more players in the NBA do stuff like this, or a one-leg kick, because that's going to be able to get them more fouls on that defender as well. Now, even though Kobe Bryant does not shoot with a thumb flick, he does do something very similar to what a lot of thumb flick shooters actually do, and that is that guide hand goes forward with the ball until the last second. Why is this important? Well, this is actually very similar to players like Joe Harris, and this is going to allow that player, in this case Joe Harris and Kobe Bryant, to have more control of that ball. And we can see he does not shoot with a thumb flick. He releases that ball just before that ball from his guide hand, just before he actually releases that ball from his shooting hand. This is going to allow him to have more control if this defender was to knock that elbow. Another thing that I notice a lot with players like Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant and a few others is when they're coming off of a screen or they're doing a turnaround jump shot, you're going to see that their shooting leg or their shooting side leg kicks out. Why is this? Well, that allows them to straighten out their shot to that rim. So here we see that he is not shooting like he did at the beginning of this video. In this clip, his body is actually right squared up with that rim, and that is not how he shoots. If he shoots with his body squared to the rim, his elbow flares out towards the right side. So how he battles and combats this, if he finds that his feet are squared towards the basket, is he allows his right foot to kick out, so that now his body is still turned the way his shooting form would have been, like I mentioned earlier, with his left shoulder and left hip slightly back, so that now he squares or straightens out his right side of his body, so that now he has that straight shot. And we can see in this clip that it's very successful for him. Now, if you're looking to shoot the basketball better, I hope that this video about Kobe Bryant has helped you. If it has, hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys again next time.